Hi guys, welcome back to Striving Aspirants. In the last video we have seen liquidity ratios under accounting ratios. In this video presentation we will be looking into the second type, that is solvency ratios. Some persons or organizations may provide certain amount of money as loan on long-term basis to a particular business. They are providing such amount with the intention of getting interest on the contributed amount, moreover the principal amount at the end of that loan period. So what is solvency ratios? The business is liable to pay these amounts to the parties who have given or who have provided that money. Solvency here means the ability of business to service its debt, means whatever they have taken loan from these parties, the business have to provide it back. So that is the ability of business to give back that loan amount in the long term, in the long run, course of a business or a company. These are the ratios coming under solvency ratios. First one is debt equity ratio, second one is debt ratio, third one proprietary ratio, fourth one total assets to debt ratio, fifth one interest coverage ratio. In this video presentation we will be checking the first three ratios. Let's check what is debt equity ratio. This ratio analyzes the relationship between long-term debt and equity. The safe ratio for debt equity ratio is considered to be 2:1. And this is the formula to calculate debt equity ratio. Long-term debts divided by shareholders fund. And calculation for shareholders fund or equity equal to equity share capital plus reserves and surplus minus fictitious assets plus preference share capital. Or equity can be calculated as non-fictitious total assets minus total external liabilities. And the long-term funds, debentures plus long-term loans. Let's check some points related to debt equity ratio. This ratio analyzes the degree of indebtedness of an enterprise, means debt or loan, obligations or liabilities of a business. It provides information to the long-term lender regarding extent of security of that particular debt. A low debt equity ratio reflects more security. A high ratio is considered risky as it may put into difficulty in meeting its obligation to outsiders. As said before, the prescribed ratio for debt equity ratio is 2:1. This ratio is also called as leverage ratio. Let us check one example to understand debt equity ratio. Here we have some information: total external liabilities 5 lakh, balance sheet total 10 lakh 10,000, current liabilities 1 lakh, fictitious assets 10,000. First we calculate long-term debt, that is total external liabilities minus current liabilities. So 5 lakh minus 1 lakh is equal to 4 lakh. Now we calculate total non-fictitious assets. As here we have C, balance sheet total given 10 lakh 10,000. That means total assets we have 10 lakh 10,000. And also fictitious asset is given 10,000. So we have to minus 10 lakh 10,000 with this 10,000 amount, so we will get total non-fictitious assets. Now we got total non-fictitious assets equal to 10 lakh. Now we have to calculate the shareholders fund. The formula is non-fictitious total assets minus total liabilities. The amount will be 10 lakh minus 5 lakh equal to 5 lakh. Now the debt equity ratio equal to 4 lakh, that we have calculated long term debt, divided by shareholders fund, that is 5 lakh. So the ratio is 4:5. The second ratio is debt ratio. Ratio of long term debt to total of external and internal funds, that is capital employed or net assets. The formula for calculation is long term debt divided by capital employed or net assets, and capital employed is equal to the long term debt plus shareholders fund. We will take the same example we have seen to calculate the debt equity ratio. Now here we will calculate debt ratio under the same example. First one, long term debt equal to total external liabilities minus current liabilities. We have 4 lakh here. Similarly, shareholders fund, non-fictitious total asset minus total liabilities, we have 5 lakh here. Now capital employed, that will be the total of the amount shown above, that is 4 lakh plus 5 lakh. So the total will be 9 lakh, that is the capital employed amount. We can also calculate net asset as total non-fictitious asset minus current liabilities. The value is 10 lakh minus 1 lakh. That will also give the amount as 9 lakh, and the debt ratio will be like 4 lakh divided by 9 lakh. So the amount will be 0.444, that is debt ratio. Let us check some points related to debt ratio. As we have seen, the debt ratio is the proportion of long-term debt in capital employed. The low ratio provides security to creditors and high ratio help management in trading on equity. In the above case, the debt ratio is less than half, which indicates reasonable funding by debt and adequate security of debt. Now another point related to debt ratio is we can compute this debt ratio in relation to total asset. So the formula will be ratio of total debt, long-term debt plus current liabilities to total assets. Debt ratio equal to total debt divided by total assets, where total debt is shareholders fund plus long-term debt plus current liabilities, and total asset equal to total of fixed and current assets. Now we will see what is proprietary ratio. Relationship of proprietors or shareholders fund to net assets. So the proprietary ratio is equal to shareholders fund divided by capital employed or net assets. We take the same example to calculate proprietary ratio. First we will check shareholders fund, that is non-fictitious total asset minus total liabilities. 10 lakh minus 5 lakh, we have answer 5 lakh as shareholders fund, and the capital employed is equal to the long-term debt plus shareholders fund. Now long-term debt equal to total external liabilities minus current liabilities. So 5 lakh minus 1 lakh, we have 4 lakh here. Now the proprietary ratio equal to shareholders fund, that is 5 lakh here, and the capital employed or net asset value is 9 lakh. So we will get the answer 0.556. Let's check some important points related to proprietary ratio. Higher proportion of shareholders' fund in financing the asset is a positive feature as it provides security to creditors. Another important point here we have to check is total of debt ratio and proprietary ratio will be equal to 1. Let's check the ratios we have got before. Debt ratio 0.444 and the proprietary ratio is 0.556. So the total is 0.44 plus 0.556 equal to 1. When we take the percentage of both, first one is 44% of capital employed is funded by debt and 56% by owner's fund. So that's all about the solvency ratios. We have seen only the first part related to solvency ratios. I believe that you got a simple idea regarding these three ratios we have discussed here. We will be coming with the continuation of the solvency ratio in the next video. So until then, it's bye from Striving Aspirants. Take care.